Hey everybody, welcome to SpeedBump. We're gonna do that new game everyone's talking about. Everybody off the blues.
Everybody's talking about it, us included now. We're the cool kids.
Mega Man X8's D-Make. Free fan game. I grab audio from Patty. I'm ready to go when they are. If 30,
All right, we're gonna give them how long?
30 minutes?
30 minutes?
Yeah, unless you want to give more. I can give them an hour if you want.
We can do 30 minutes. I don't know how long, whether or not people are going to run into issues that are going to make them not want to stick around for 30 minutes. So
yeah, that's fair. I've not played this yet. Heard a lot about it. I played the original actual game.
All right. Well, our players are getting to it. We actually have 2 extra people participating who aren't featured on the screen. We've got Pink Kitty Rose as well and Saxy Assassin. So a bunch of people showed up for this one. It is, however, widescreen, so there's only so much screen real estate.
Yeah. Actually, it looks like I'm going to grab audio from Spritz. So X8 follows the X formula and the Mega Man formula of just 8 bosses. And then a couple of vials here again. Sigma, of course. Vial for the last time finally is gone. Usually you can play as Mega Man X and Zero and that other guy who I can't remember and hate, but
Axel?
Yeah, Axel. He's basically like, what if Kirby was Mega Man? Even though Mega Man already kind of is, like he just morphs into enemies and stuff. But in this one, this D-Make, you're only Mega Man X. I had a ton of trouble with every X game after 2, and this one was no exception. It's a very hard game, and very much completely out of touch with what Mega Man X1 and 2 were. It was a modern PlayStation 2 game. It wasn't too bad. I didn't hate it, it just didn't feel like the same kind of game. It changed a lot. This looks
like it. I mean, it's hard to say just from looking at it, but this looks like this controls really well. Like, whoever took the time to build this D-Make did a really good job, it seems like.
X1 and X2 feel really good, and if they just copied those as much as they could, that's the way to go. The reason I don't like Axel is because I just want to play Mega Man. And if I'm feeling edgy, I'll play the sword guy some, but I don't really like him as much. Supreme Edge Boy Zero.
This looks really good. So as someone who's played X8, I mean, is this pretty... Like, in terms of the style, is it fairly faithful to what's in X8, just in the more classic style?
I feel like it looks really good, and it's redrawn, because we're not talking about a sprite game here. We're talking about a PS2 3D looking game. I'm going to put that boss we just saw on screen, actually.
Right, that's what I was meaning. Like, is that a fairly faithful recreation of a boss that was in the original game, or is this kind of like...
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
I'll put him on the screen. I got a picture here. Try not to make it an enormous picture. Rookie mistake. There he is. They redrew this in sprite art. It's really good.
That's fantastic.
CRT.
Players, good.
CRT scan lines and stuff are options in games like this. I think some players just turned them off.
Yeah, I was gonna say we said that the players could take a look at some of the options. Someone had noticed that there's an option for disabling some of the cutscene and dialogue, so that feel free to turn any of that off that you want. So some of them probably found some scanline options and either turned them on or off depending on what the default is.
I couldn't tell you the names of these bosses except for the Pandemonium. I got stuck there for hours. I should play this again sometime. Give it another shot. I want to go through X6 and X7 are like famously bad, quickly made games. X8 went back to actually being a decent mid-tier X game in my opinion. Like just okay. I didn't hate it, but it's nothing. It's got nothing on X1, X2.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the X games after 2, but I know that several of them have reputations for being like just not good games. Not bad for Mega Man, but just kind of bad.
In my head, before I really thought too much about it and played too much Mega Man, I was like, man, I sure love the X series. And then when I went through it, I'm like, wow, they made 8 and only 2 of them are good. It's just what the heck. They just got worse and worse. 6 and 7 are really bad games. 8 is just another PS2 game, but it stars Mega Man, so that's fun.
Yeah, but don't also like X5 and some of the other ones have kind of poor reputations as well, or at least among my friends. I don't know. I don't know what general consensus is.
There's a good core game in X4 and X5, but there are a lot of mistakes. One of the mistakes X5 makes is you have a time limit that goes down when you finish missions or fail missions, and you have to get these parts to try to save the world, and if you do it all of it, you still have a chance to fail, and if you fail, Zero dies. If you happen to be playing Zero, he's gone, and all the upgrades you got for him are gone, and you're kind of screwed. That's a thing that X5 does. It's also full of dialogue. X4 is too. I think X4 is a popular one, though. There's a nice fan patch that fixes up X5, fixes that problem. But yeah, you can get like car tanks and stuff for Zero.
Feels like for a few of these stage obstacles, they're still trying to do like the PS2 3D. Like it has a 3D axis to it.
Enemies scaling, yeah. There's boss health scaling in X5 as well. And the fan patch decided that was cool. I don't like that. I think the refights are questionable, a questionable decision for the Mega Man series. I don't know how much I like them. I put up with them, obviously, but the only thing I can think about them that's good is that they give you a chance to like try the weaknesses out now that you surely have them and really show us what you learned on these boss fights. But they go pretty hard on them. In X5, they made the bosses tankier, so you don't even get that. You just feel weaker. So I think they really missed the message there. But like if you're playing like Mega Man 2, the classic, and you go in there with Metal Blade and Air Shooter and all that other stuff, and you didn't have it before, now you really get to wreck the bosses, have a good time. I can understand that. I still don't really like it very much, but it doesn't feel bad because it's over fast. And this looks great. When I played this, I got stuck really hard, and I didn't really want to play as Axel at all. I didn't understand him. He's kind of a strange character. He's only in 7 and 8, and a lot of the secrets are tied to him.
This sprite art is genuinely fantastic. It looks really, really good.
X6 and X7 are very funny. How lousy they are. It's just really amusing games. I have a fan patcher for 6 that lets you have a slew of options, just 1,000 different things you can set. You can set the damage levels of every enemy and boss. You can set their health. You can change the stages to add jumps that weren't there before to make them less crappy. You can disable stage mechanics and main core features that suck. You can turn off all this crap. And even when you've done all that, you're still playing Mega Man X6 at the end of the day. You can turn it into, like, it's still probably the lousiest one. Probably right after 7. 7's probably actually the lousiest one. But with those changes, it's something. Definitely would recommend that. Gigavolt Man of War is killing Patty.
So you're going to be playing this?
Yeah, I'll play this. I've been meaning to. I probably will play through X8 proper as well. It's been a long time. This one, this is the last time you see Sigma, as far as I know. They finally realized that Zero is causing it somehow. His existence is causing Sigma to be able to respawn over and over again. So he takes a nap, and all of humanity finished dying while he's taking a nap. He wakes up. That's the plot of the Zero.
Yeah, I guess you probably haven't seen X8 all that recently just because it doesn't fit in the shuffler.
Nope, it sure doesn't. Wish it did. You can put 7 and 8 in there and make my day.
Would it make your day, though?
I'd figure out how to beat him someday. Eventually. 7 is really awful. It's almost broken bad. Like, it has looping audio problems, and Mega Man is refusing to play for the first half the game. He's just being a pacifist for some reason. I guess because everything always blows up in his face. He decided not to play this time. So you don't get to use him for half the game. Then he joins, and he has no upgrades because he couldn't have had them because he was hiding. This bike is from X2. I don't remember it in X8, but I really again just don't remember too much of this game other than Bamboo Stage. I was there for so long.
The way you said it, have you never beaten X8?
I'm sure I did. I remember the ending, some kind of space station, and it's not Sigma as the final boss. Or maybe it is, and there's some other big boss there. And then Vile was guarding it in his big power armor. I remember those things, so I must have beat it. It just took me a long time to get through. And Mega Man, when you start to get the powers, things open up a bit for you. It becomes easier, especially the X series where you get heart tanks and stuff.
Right.
So that beginning was really what was killing me. I just couldn't get through the first couple stages. Maybe I was just picking the wrong one. That is the thing. Sometimes you're just on the wrong stage. Anyway, don't start with the panda stage. That's what I learned.
Rough start. I'm often very fascinated by fan games like this because when you take a really beloved game like, you know, my touchstone is always Mario games. Whenever you play a fan game, if they don't play exactly like a Mario game should, for some reason they feel bad. Even when it's a solid platformer, a fine platformer, if they don't control like a Mario platformer, then it just feels really unpleasant to play. And so these kind of fan games are always really fascinating because it's like, why would you put that pressure on yourself to have to recreate an existing franchise like that so well in a brand new engine you're building?
They're doing all this work for free. And just for fun, there's a couple of Mega Man X projects out there that have been in development hell for years, and they are actually coming along, but you don't really have a lot of ROM hacks or fan projects of the X series. It's all Mega Man. That's really easy to do. Mega Man 2 especially, and 5. Those ones have a ton of fan games and ROM hacks on those engines. But Mega Man X, you really don't see that at all. There's like one out there that's just like a difficulty mode, and by difficulty I mean they just removed the floor from Mega Man X. So they do a bunch of trick jumps while you fight bosses. That's it. This is a very interesting one because of that. It's exceptional. Even if it wasn't as good looking as it is, it would be the only one of its kind almost.
Maybe Mega Man games are more consistent and less fickle, but I've never played a Mario fan game that I thought controlled worth a damn. And if you're too slow, it just dumps your armor off into the pit. It's incredible.
I'm not a big fan of X3 either. I don't think it's a terrible game. It's got the art style of X1 and stuff. It still looks pretty good. It sounds worse. The music's less interesting. Bosses are less interesting. The upgrades are dumb. The Buster is maybe the worst one ever. So it's a downgrade in my opinion when you grab it. And they did something really annoying. Oh, there's Bamboo Pandemonium. He's looking pretty good. It is something incredibly annoying throughout the X series at the start. At X1, they tease you with this cool guy, Zero, and then he, you know, takes death. They bring him back in X2, you can put him back together if you do all the secrets, and that sure sounds like you'll be allowed to play him, but nope. He just shows up at the end and helps you out if you do all that work.
Nothing.
In X3, they immediately let you play him in the intro stage, and you're like, yes, finally. And he's got this cool combo sword and stuff, and then they take him away. And you can, throughout the game, you can press a button to summon him and play as him. You can do it. If he dies a single time, he's gone forever. What? Why would you do that? It wasn't until X4 where they're finally like, you know what? Just play him. Whatever. And he's not very good in X4, I don't think, either. X5 is where he really shines. And to get the good weapon in X3 and to be able to like actually finish the game realistically, you have to kill Zero anyway. You can't use him really. He has to die at the right time. X3's ending is all the Sigma fights are pretty bad, I think. X2's is okay, I guess, but X1's is really mean. All big.
What about the Mega Man Metroidvania that you only play as X, or not X, Zero?
Which one's that?
Wasn't there one like ZX Advent or something like that?
Oh, I haven't played those yet myself.
I haven't played them either. I'm just vaguely aware of them from making the Mega Man Damage Shuffler. I've booted up my fair share of Mega Man games that I've never played. Alright, to Sprit. Oh man, I was gonna say, can Spritz do it with just one pip of health left?
Patty's trying to control the Gigavolt fight. It's starting to wear down. Oh no.
That looks tough. So how are we
Sigma's
gonna have our
gone.
players record their score? Number of robot masters defeated.
That would be the way I'd go. Sigma's gone after this game forever, as far as I know. He doesn't show up in anything. I don't know if he even makes a cameo. He probably does in like Battle Network as just some weird looking guy who just kind of looks like Sigma. I don't think he ever himself shows up again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I am mixing up games. I'm thinking of the one that has, I think, the Cyber Elves. I don't.
Yeah, that's
again. Yeah, maybe I'm crossing names because there's like legitimately 50 different Mega Man games.
I swear there's a dude in Battle Network who's not a main villain, but he is a bad guy who just looks like Sigma with the eyes and stuff. But it's not him. He's gone forever after 8, I think, here. He dies, finally. Just gets sick of him. He's kind of a goof.
Oh my god, Tarragon almost figured out how to use some damage frames to make it through that spike section, but
Patty's got it.
well done.
This thing that Spritz is doing is exactly what I got stuck on in regular X8. These conveyor belts from hell. This Sigma's boss fight in X3 is so crappy. He is so goofy. X4's is kind of crappy, but it's better than I think all of the ones preceding it. Maybe X2's is okay. X5 I barely remember. I think it's also kind of silly, but it's not too bad. X6 maybe has the best one because he's unfinished and he's hilarious. He's like drunk. He's just flopping over and stuff. It's like it's almost the only good thing in that game. It's just, man, I could complain about X6 instead of talking about X8. I love it.
With how many spin-off series there are, have they made any Mega Man games since, I guess, like, Mega Man 11 is the last one I can think of?
Yeah, it's the last one. I think it did really well too, so maybe they'll think about making more of these.
I played Mega Man 11. I really enjoyed it.
They're making a lot of, like, they've always have. They're making a lot of collection packs. They made Battle Network collection packs and Zero.
They can't seem to stop just re-releasing 10 games at a time. I love that. I love that Spritz brought the mech armor here.
Oh yeah, you can do that in some of these, and it's great.
I guess it's just supposed to be a reward for anyone who makes it this far.
Got the kill with it. We're seeing a couple bosses go down. You know about X6? Let me tell you some more X6 mechanics.
Yeah, tell me everything about X6. Treat me like I know nothing about it, which will be convenient because I don't know anything about it.
So instead of having heart tanks, sub tanks, and armor in the stages, well, I guess armor actually is in the stages, but that other stuff, and a bunch of chips and stuff that give you like faster buster shots, bigger jumps, faster speed, things like that. They're on fellas that are just in the stage asking for help. And that's cool. You find them, you touch them, you get healed, they give you their thing at the end of the stage. That's great. They can die permanently, and you can lose the upgrade forever if some little thing grabs them before you save them. Which is the worst. That is so bad. And then, you never know what you're going to get from them, because there's so many of them. One of the stages has, like, I want to say 10 different iterations in it. It just randomly pulls 3 of them as you go through the stage. and you cannot get the sub tank and the heart tank unless you figure out, and the armor too, unless you figure out which one you need. Like, you don't get to choose, so you just run through the stage maybe 20 times before you finally get 3 that you like. I don't feel like it's optional to skip those in a game as hard as X6. A game is brutal, it's so mean.
Right.
One of the stages has a big mini boss that really sucks to fight, and you're like, wow, what a miserable way to open up the stage. You have to fight this big jerk. And then you find out that there's like 10 more of him, because that's all the stages. It's just worse versions of fighting this mini boss. It's just worse and worse.
We've got about 5 minutes left for our players. We've seen a lot of bosses go down. I'm really pleased with this.
Yeah, they're doing great. I feel like I'm hearing that this game gets really hard. This demake gets really hard in the end game. But it seems like the early game is much easier.
Is that relatively appropriate to X8? Like, is this game quite difficult?
I think it's the opposite in regular X8. The end game wasn't too bad. You have a lot of tools. I don't remember for sure, though. I don't remember having much trouble with the end. I must have beat it pretty easily. It was this early game that was crushing me. That health bar being so small. No powers, no nothing to work with. I think that the game seems easier to play. Seen some great progress though, for sure. I remember this thing that Subwoofer's doing with the puzzle gravity stage, and I didn't remember liking it very much. But it looks fine here. I just don't like spikes everywhere. I think that's a Mega Man trope that should have gone out. Even 11 has a jump in Dr. Wily's stage, part 1, where you just fall blindly into spikes if you don't know in advance that they're there. They love that. They love it too much. Big drawback on the series. Use the health bar, damn it. I think the gimmick here is that if you get through the stage well enough, either with speed or low damage, I'm not sure which, usually it's speed, you can get the sub tank and the heart tank. And I haven't seen the players get those yet. There's a couple other really good demakes of Mega Man 7 and 8. They unfortunately are not like NES. They're PC indie games, so we can't use them in the shuffle or anything like that.
Right.
They're great though. 8 is one of my favorite games, just across the board. It's got a couple problems I wish I could fix. I don't know what I'm doing with that kind of stuff though.
Yeah, that's tough.
But it's the one with all the cool cutscenes. Voice acting. Hell yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't change the voice act. I wouldn't change Grenade Man for anything. What a genius. There's just a couple places that are just a little too mean and kind of slow in 8. But it looks like they remade Rockman and Forte, more or less, in 8. They just made a better game than that was. Astro Man's there even, like one of the bosses is back. And less crappy. Really, they made 8 before Rockman and Forte, and they still made Rockman and Forte as bad as Rockman and Forte is. For the record, Rockman and Forte is my least favorite Mega Man game, I think, ever, officially, that I've played, including, like, the Wonder Swan games and the...
That's pretty damning, because there's some, I mean, not...
Extreme...
There's some bad Mega Man games.
Yeah, there are. There's a Game Boy Classic game, or Color game, Extreme 2, I really don't like. But Rockman and Forte, especially playing as Mega Man, is so damn lousy. I think I would rather play X7. I think I actually would, because at least it's novel and interesting and not just... Wow, it sucks to play Rockman and Forte. I don't like it at all.
I think that's our time.
Rockman and Forte Wonder Swan is better than Rockman and Forte proper. It really is. The Wonder Swan one is just a kind of a boring, regular... It's almost just like a Game Boy Mega Man game. It's not like super interesting, but it's not frustrating and crappy. And I would say it's a better game because of that. Time is up, and our players are recording the scores. Yeah. Paragon didn't take any bosses down. Looks like they got some health pickups though.
According to Tarragon, no.
Pink Kitty Rose got 5, but they've played this before, they said.
Oh, the fan game?
Yeah. 5. Pink Kitty Rose, big Mega Man champ. She's always crushing it. Corbin with 2. Patty and Spritz had 1. Saxy didn't get any.
So that's Subwoofers, who, at least of the people pictured here, took first. And from the looks of it, is on their way to beating a third Robot Master? Or Maverick?
Yeah, they're called Mavericks. How dare you?
Sorry, I don't know how you Mega Man people do it.
That's another thing that bothers me. The plot of X and then 0 is perpetual failures leading to the destruction of all robot and humankind in the end, and they become just like cops almost. They're just like anyone who disagrees with them politically, he calls them Maverick. It used to be they were crazy jerks. He'd call them a Maverick. They were infected with some virus that made them violent, but now X is just like, you're Maverick, because he doesn't like what they have to say. In this game, I think there's like an army that he doesn't like that's in his way, or maybe that's 7, but yeah, they kind of lose the plot. Maverick is the name of the boss. The army is in X7 as well. There's more than one army that X is fighting that are like not actually the bad guys. He just decided they were as well. Hey, that's it. Thanks for playing, everybody.
We need some X games that have some multiverse crossover and brings back Dr. Cossack.
Yeah, the Legends, Mega Man Legends. What a good game. You should play that one. Oh yeah.
I gotta get Tron Bond in here.
I haven't played that one, but I've seen it. It's not too late, Capcom. We can do Legends 3. You can really modernize it and make some cool ass game.
Get Smite on the phone. He's got some ideas for you.
It's not my idea. It's what everybody wants it. What a banger that would be to come out 30 years late. Here it is. Thanks for joining me, Author Blues.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
See you later.